Okay. At this point, I gotta tell you some of my pet peeves. In this class, we never ever times anything. Okay? We multiply. And we don't minus things, we subtract them. We don't plus things, we add them. They'll be just fine as long as you adhere to those rules. Not that, I'll punish you. Grade-wise, a lot of evaluation is subjective. So don't give me negative imagery. I'm joking. I typically don't look at the names when I grade these things. I grade the same question at the same time. That doesn't mean every once in a while I give you a grade that you may not be otherwise happy, but we can always discuss about those. If you look at this expression, 2, since there are no parentheses, the exponentiation is going to be evaluated first.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
For the FDT over DT part for here, so our FDT is the target value right now in the future.
No, I'm talking about generically. In this case, I know,
Yeah.
see, I have a formula what that rate should be.
Yeah.
I want a future value to be twice as present value.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is, that ratio is 2.
So on this one, we're just going off our target value.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're just doing it for the ratio.
Yeah.
I'm doing it just to illustrate the issue of order of operations. Since there are no parentheses, exponentiation is going to be done first. You take 2, raise it to the power of 1, which is 2. Then you divide that by B2, which is 10. You get 0.2, and you do the subtraction. The correct one would be, knowing that exponentiation is going to be done first, because I want my exponent to be 1 over t, okay? So I'm going to make sure that that exponent is actually 1 over t. Put parentheses around that. Done. That's it. On the order of operations, if there are multiple parentheses, they're going to be evaluated from right to left. And if there are operations that are equal precedence, again, it's going to be evaluated from right to left. But anytime you're in doubt, use parentheses. Now, we know the answer now. Well, let me put a 5 here. So if I put 7.18 here, I'm pretty close to the answer, right? Which I happen to know the answer, but let's pretend that we didn't know the answer. How am I going to tell Excel? Because I'm a civilized person. As a civilized person, I tend to do the minimum job to get the job done. Minimum effort. You guys should know something about that. Students are all about path of least resistance to get a certain objective. So I want the path of least resistance. I want to do minimal work. I can do this manually. Well, 5 isn't enough. How about 10? 10 is too much. So the answer is somewhere in the middle. Oh, that's too much. Between 5 and 750, 625. Too little. 6875, and so on. You can always have that interval. Eventually, you're going to get to it. And in numerical analysis, this is actually an official algorithm. It's called the bisection. It's been known since Babylonian times. If there is an equation that you can't solve symbolically, you can always solve it using bisection algorithm, as long as you know an interval that contains the solution. But we're not going to worry about that. we're gonna trust that Excel has some sort of tool that's gonna do that manual thing I did kind of internally. And that thing is called GoalSeek. Under the Data tab, and in your computer's Data tab may not be in the same place. It's a customizable. I'm left eye dominant. Even though I write with my right hand, even when I'm shooting a rifle, I use my left shoulder. My parents must have raised me as a righty. When I play soccer, I play with my left foot. And a lot of things I do with my left. But if I wanted over here, just pick any one of them, right click, customize the ribbon. I can take the Data tab and put it at the end. Whatever you want. But under Data tab, towards the end, this thing you're not going to see yet. There is a little block called What If Analysis. Click on that. Pick GoalSeek. Now it asks three things from you. The first one is, what are you trying to accomplish? I want to make that cell, and that cell needs to contain a formula. Okay? Because it needs to depend on something. The second one is, what do you want to do to that cell? I want to make it 0. And the third one is, what do you want me to do to change around while looking for that number? Well, I know number of periods, I know present value, I know target value. The only thing I don't know is the period rate. And make sure that that cell does not contain a formula. It's kind of an input cell. And the second argument has to be manually entered numbers. I mean, if you want to do, you can make it 2, but I set it up with different things so that that's always a 0. Just hit OK, done. In fact, if I added another digit to that, you know, up to 4 decimal points, it's correct. What a powerful thing. I mean, in this case, it's simple. We can actually write a formula for it, but there's going to be situations where you can still write a formula, but that formula is going to be a monster. I'm pretty much a surgeon with Excel, and I started using Excel. PCs didn't have mice. Let me put it that way. Only the Macs had mice. There was not Windows. There was only DOS. So I've been using Excel for almost 40 years now, and I'm really good at it. I don't trust myself not to make an error. Just why? I mean, I can spend a lot of time to carefully write that formula and not make a mistake. Why do I have to? I'm going to get back to that after break. It's going to be a lesson in the beauty of the mathematics. By the way, mathematics is not, a lot of people say, oh, I can't multiply 2 numbers in my head. I'm not good in math. That's not math. Math is something more beautiful. Being able to multiply 2 numbers in your head is a parlor trick. I can do a lot of it. Doesn't mean I'm any better than you are in mathematics. For example, I can find the square of numbers that ends with a 4 very quickly. So, Excel can do the same thing. I mean, 50 years ago, that's a useful thing. You know, you needed something quickly, fine. Not anymore. Now we're going to use all that calculation power to do stuff that's useful. just like here. I don't have to work about exponentiation. I don't have to write long formulas to find something. I'm just going to set up a problem as an equation. If I know the left-hand side, if I know right-hand side, I know what the left-hand side is going to be. Sometimes I know the left-hand side, I'm going to be able to figure out something in the right-hand side. A lot of times we can solve it algebraically. It's going to be half a page long formula. Who cares? If I can do it with one goal seek in Excel, I'm done. That's it. Let's give a break. Let's get back here at, let's see, 7:35. All right, let's continue. Now let's make things a little bit more complicated. I want to preserve some of this stuff, so I'm going to move this sheet to end, but create a copy.